FUNCLE's Customs, where I find all kinds of cars in different places. I usually fix them and flip them, but sometimes I keep them. This is My Garage Revivals. Over the weekend, I used Hugo's car to go and pick up the interior for our 1969 Dodge Charger. Hello everybody and welcome back to My Garage Revivals. Alright, so yes, it is Monday morning and here we are back at the paint booth. So they have finished painting our 1969 Dodge Charger and it is ready for collection. So I think this turned out quite nice. Color is perfect and they did an amazing job with the bodywork, and also all the rust has been removed. So yeah, I think it's time for us to take this thing back to the shop and see if we can get the interior installed, because the interior also arrived. I did manage to pick it up over the weekend. So yeah, let's start this thing up. Just like that. Sounds pretty good. Alright, so and then we are going to make our way back to our shop and get this thing sorted out, because we also got a lot of work to do to Lacko's ramp truck today, which you'll be pleased to know we also did get a bunch of parts for that truck in as well. So yeah, let's quickly get this thing back to the shop. It's luckily a very early start this morning, and this thing has got a lot of power. Alright, so here we are, just like that. Alright, so here we are back at the shop with our 1969 Dodge Charger. So yeah, as you can see, we've got our interior laying over here. It's basically ready to go back into the car. And then yeah, we are going to try and see if we can get this thing sent to auction. So yeah, that is actually going to bring in a little bit of money for us, hopefully, for the shop. And then we've got a lot of work to do on Lacko's ramp truck over here, which you'll be pleased to know we did get the actual ramp bed that needs to go on the back of this thing. So this is brand new. It's still got the primer gray paint on it. So yeah, I think we're gonna also do a little bit of a two-tone paint job like we did on our own ramp truck. So yeah, that is going to hopefully look very nice when we are done with it. So Lacko actually asked me for a specific paint job on this truck. He wants it painted in a dark red. So I was thinking about all the different color codes that I've been dealing with, and I actually came up with the color from Hugo's car, but maybe just a little bit darker. So we'll see how that is going to turn out. So yeah, I think first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my toolbox. I think I put it over there on the ground. Okay, so here it is. And then we're going to start by just basically putting the new interior into this thing. So we are going to start off by removing the seat over here, which we've got in the driver's position at the moment, and see if we can basically start from the carpet, and then we'll start off by putting up the seats, and then we'll go to the headliner and so forth. But obviously first I'm going to remove everything from the car. So let's come over here. We're going to rip off this door panel. So what I'm going to be doing with the parts we take off this interior, we are going to put it into storage, the ones that are good. The ones that are basically trashed, we are going to dispose of those. Like this rear right door card, and also the rear left one over here is quite bad actually. And we also need to install some missing bits to the car, which we do have on the table over here. So we've got some new taillights. And we also have got the two front markers, and then we are missing a small window at the back right over there. So we are also going to get that installed, and I think we might as well replace this one because they came as a set of two. So that is basically the idea over here. Alright, so let's get our headliner out of here. Right, just like that. So that is going to be disposed of because it's looking very bad. And now I think what I'm going to need is basically the tool to take out the dashboard, which I'm not sure is the... Yeah, that's a screw. Very standard actually. Screwdriver. Let's grab the screwdriver and come over here. Gonna undo the 2 screws on this side and also on the other side over here. Alright, and there we go. So that is the old dashboard. I'm not sure if this cluster is still in perfect working condition, so we might actually take it out and just see how it is. We did get a nice replacement one with the actual dashboard we're going to be putting in the car, so let's just investigate that cluster quickly and see how good it still is. So we'll pop it out of here, just get that out of the way. Alright, so yeah, it's not brand new still, but it might still work for a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the new one that we got with the car, and then we'll just take that one and put it in the trunk for the new owner of the vehicle. So then they can decide if they want to have the original cluster in the vehicle, which is a little bit broken, or if they want to put in the, or keep in the new one that we've got in the dashboard over here. So yeah, that is basically the plan. Right, so let's start with our headliner over here quickly. Let's just get that put into place. So this just snaps in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our wrench so we can get our window installed and also replace the opposite side one as well. So this is the one we need to get in. Alright, so that is going to go over there. And then we'll come inside and we'll just bolt it down, and then we'll take this one out over here. And this part is still good, obviously, so we'll keep that around. Maybe we'll need it again one day. But let's grab the brand new window we've got and get that installed. And there's the bolt. Perfect. Right, so next up we are going to be putting in our carpet. So let's just grab this and we'll snap that into place just like that. And then I think the next part is we are going to have to take out our old steering column. So let's quickly come around here. We're going to unbolt everything. Yeah, I should have actually done that before I put the carpet in. So let's pop the carpet out quickly, because I didn't think this was going to be an issue. So let's quickly just get this removed again. All right, let's put that down there again, and then we'll come and grab our wrench. And now we'll be able to reach the column shifter, well, the steering column, just like that. And let's just quickly do a comparison to see if there's any noticeable differences. I don't really think there is, because I almost thought this one was bent, but it isn't. So we'll just replace it with the new one anyway. And we will keep the old one around for future projects if we ever do a Dodge Charger again. Alright, so like that, we've got our steering column in with a brand new steering wheel as well. And there we go, that's our carpet in. And now we'll grab our seats. We'll start with the back seat. And that goes in there, and just tighten these 2 bolts down. Perfect. Alright, so I think let's grab this panel. I actually forgot this panel. We need to weld this into place. So this actually goes behind the seat over here. We're going to come over this side. We're going to grab our welding machine. So probably just disconnect the battery for safety. Remove it as a whole, just like that. All right, I'll just set that down on the floor here for a second, because it's only going to take me a second to weld this up. All right, so here's our welding machine. We're just going to lean in here and we're going to basically weld that panel into place. And I believe that should be the only thing we really need to do to this. So yeah, that is basically looking much more complete now with that panel installed. So we can go ahead and close our trunk again, and I'll come over here and grab the wrench. And then let's get our battery put back into place, because we don't want to leave it on the floor. Alright, and there we go. Our battery is bolted down again. Alright, so now let's continue with our door panels over here. We've got the rear ones. Let's just get the seat out of our way here. Alright, so this is the rear right. And I think there's no bolts attaching this to the car. So we'll just pop those into place. Same with the other side. Just like that. Let's get our front door card over here. Snap that into place, and then we'll do the same with the driver's side. Just like that. And now we can finally get our two front seats and the dashboard installed. Then we should basically be done with the interior replacement of this vehicle. Alright, and then now these back seats, back bolts from the back seats are going to be a little bit tough to get to, but I'm sure we'll get to all of them just like that. Alright, and then let's do the driver's seat. Alright, so once again, two at the front. And then we'll get a little bit creative with getting these rear bolts in again. Alright, this one and that one over there. Alright, superb. Now, last but not least, let's get our dashboard installed. Alright, so let's see what this interior is going to look like once it's complete. Just like this. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, that looks very decent. I think we did a good job on the color combination with this car. I love the green with the grey interior. That is looking quite flashy. Alright, and then we'll just move these two things out of the way for now. Just make sure we don't trip over anything when we are moving about in the shop. Alright, so there was another thing that I wanted to do quick. That is basically all of these parts we see on the table here. So we've got our brand new markers for the front. So let's grab that quickly. Alright, and I think they just pry out the old ones. Just like that. Alright, so there goes the old one. And then we'll pop in the new one over here. And let's go and grab the other one for the driver's side, which I already took out because that one was bent a bit. And as you can see also on the table, we've got two new taillights. So we are going to replace the one on the left as well. Because I think it's just better to do the whole set. And then that way everything is sorted out. So they just pop out with the pry tool. Let's just pop that off. Alright, let's just get this chrome put back into place. Alright, let me grab this taillight, which is actually still in good condition, so we'll just keep it around. And we'll come and grab our two new taillights. So there's the right hand side one. We'll pop that in like that. And we'll also grab the left hand side one. And there we go, that has been installed. So once again, this vehicle is basically complete. However, there is one more thing that I wanted to do, and that is get a jack under this car, because I want to see how the spacers are going to work for the wheels, because I think we need some spacers on these wheels. They are sitting a little bit far inward. So I just want to see if we can make it look a little bit better by getting those spacers installed. So we'll lift it up, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the 50mm spacers here. So let me grab all of these, all four of those, and let's just see on one side what they look like. So let's grab our wrench. Alright, now I'm not too sure if this is going to give us the spacing that I was looking for. It doesn't look too bad, but I'm a little bit curious to see what the 100mm spacer would do. So that is what we're going to check. So let's grab a 100mm spacer over here. because sadly there's no in-between spaces from 50mm. It goes straight to 100mm, the ones that are available to us. And I think 100mm might actually be pushing it, but I think let's lower this thing down again. We'll do the one at the back as well quickly, I think. Let's do that quick. So we'll unbolt this wheel as well. And we'll let that just come off on its own. Alright, there we go. Let's pop this one on here and see how this is going to work. Alright, I'm not too sure if we're gonna experience any rubbing if the wheels are sitting out far like that. Yeah, I don't know, it actually doesn't look bad. It's definitely sitting a little bit further out at the back than at the front, but I think that'll actually suit the car. So what I'm going to do is we are going to sell this car to somebody on our Discord by means of an auction. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these spaces in the trunk so that the next owner of the vehicle can decide whether he wants to put the 50mm spaces on or keep the 100mm spaces on. So we are going to install the other two as well. And then I think we are going to call it a day and call this car complete. Alright, so there we go. We've got all 4 100mm spaces installed on the car. And we've got basically all the missing bits installed. We've got our taillights in. We've got our front markers installed with that beautiful brand new grey interior. And I think this car is basically ready to hit the road now. So yeah, let's just have another quick look at this engine. So this is a 454 cubic inch big block engine. And it's got some internal parts that are a little bit more powerful, like the stroker crankshaft. We've got a drag camshaft in this thing, as well as forged pistons all round. And then, yeah, we've got these nice triple carburetors at the top, which I think actually finishes this thing off very well. And it's definitely got quite a little bit of power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing for a quick dyno test over at Richard's Autobody. And then that way we are going to know if we've got a monster over here. So let's open up the shop quick, get this thing fired up, and I'll drive it over to Richard's Autobody. We're going to give it a little bit of a dyno test because I'm a little bit curious to see how well this engine is going to make power. Right, so here we are. We've got our dyno all paid up, so we've got to basically strap it down, and then we're gonna fire this thing up again. Gonna see what type of power she will make. So yeah, let's give it a little bit of a whirl over here. All right, so we are in drive, and I'm just gonna mash it. All right, so I think that is quite a nice little result we've got over there. I'm not sure if you guys were able to see it. Alright, so let's get this thing turned off and let me hop out and make sure everything is all nice and tight still. Yes, it still looks good. Alright, so we made 1481 horsepower, which is quite a lot of power for the little modifications that we actually did to this engine. And also we didn't break any bank doing it because we had most of these parts to our disposal. And then yeah, it's basically now just back to the shop because we need to start working on Lacko's pickup truck, or his ramp truck rather. So yeah, we are basically converting a flatbed into a ramp bed for him. Alright, so here we go. This is our 1969 Dodge Charger, which actually started out as a 1968 Dodge Charger, which we have done a full facelift on. So we've got the 69 Charger taillights installed, as well as the 1969 Dodge Charger grille, and we've got basically everything done to this car that you would do in a normal restoration. So I don't think this car is really perfect, but I just think it's much better than it was, because this vehicle was damaged quite badly. And yes, I think it turned out very good, and I think hopefully it's going to give us a nice bit of money back into our pocket now. So what I'm going to continue work on now is basically we're going to see if we can get Lacko's truck in a condition where we could probably take it over to paint today, which will be great if we can achieve that. And just on another note, our shop truck is still with Hugo. He's still busy using it, so yeah, we might get it back sometime this week, but it all depends on his grandfather, because obviously he's going to visit him a little bit as well before he comes back. So that is completely understandable. I must say, I am actually missing my truck, because it's much easier to tow with the truck than, or just to haul stuff up and down with the truck instead of connecting the trailer up to his car, because I had to buy myself a tow hitch to get mounted to that thing. Alright, so yes, but what I'm doing now is I'm just going to basically assemble this front end a little bit. So we've got the grill and the hood, all basically stuff I didn't get to in the last episode. So we're going to install everything that we've got, make sure everything lines up nicely and nothing is buckled or, you know, bent. So everything looks good so far. I haven't found any issues whatsoever. I did notice we didn't have a brake caliper on this left hand side, so I did order a brand new one as well as the replacement knuckle we need. So while we are at it, I'm going to also install that, but we're also going to replace the knuckle and just do a little bit of service on the brakes. So we also got a new shock absorber that we can install, and I actually think we do have a better brake disc for this. So let me just check quickly on the shelf over here. What is this? This is in fact a brake disc for this truck. I think this actually came off my truck that I did some work on. Alright, so we'll put the better one on, and then let's get this hub removed, because we obviously need to install a new knuckle over here, or a hub carrier as they would also call it. So let's just see what that entails. So we'll take it off over there. Alright, we've got a bolt up here as well. I nearly missed that one. And what else is keeping this in? So let's see. So that is all loose. Well, we need to replace this anyway, so let's get that removed. Alright, I think maybe this whole bar needs to come off for that knuckle to be able to pop off. There we go, there we go. Alright, so that was the key. Alright, so there's our old hub carrier. Let's maybe not put it on our brand new radiator hose. Okay, so we can grab this one and get that put into place, but first just need to slide this half axle back in like that, and now we can install it. Right, so we've got the bolt over there and the bolt over there, and then we'll put this back in place. Just bolt that down and over there as well. Alright, so I also didn't get to putting the steering box back in, so let's also be sure to get this mounted. And we've got the bolts over there. I think it's just the one bolt if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check on that. Yeah, it does too. Look like it's just the one bolt on that. I can't remember if there were any other bolts. But yes, that is basically it by the looks of it. So now we just got to see this bolt over here. There we go. That is sorted out. So let's do the front brake pads. Before I do that, let's quickly just put everything back together. Need to get our hub installed here. And let's get our brake disc installed. Okay, let's get this screwed down. Alright, so let's grab the shock absorber first of all. get that installed back into place and bolt it down, and we'll bolt it down there as well. Alright, so that is nice and snug. Alright, so now we can do the brake pads. So I am going to do the opposite side caliper as well. Well, not the caliper, we'll replace the pads in the caliper. Alright, just like that. And we also got a brand new brake line for this. Where does this want to go on? Let's just see if we can't do it over here. We'll probably have to do it on the truck. I think it's just going to be easier like that. So let's come and install this. Bolt that down. We'll grab our brake hose over here. And we'll bolt that down over there. And over there. And that is basically this corner done. I don't think there's anything else we need to do from this side really. But I do want to install this brand new drive shaft. Goes to the transmission, which we also haven't installed yet. So let's just lift this thing up a little bit more. Just so that I can squeeze in under here without having too many things block me. Obviously it's this one at the top. Alright, and I'm just double checking these bolts, making sure we've got all of them still snug. Yeah, looks like I did a good job in the last episode, so everything is still nice and snug. Alright, so now, while we are down there, let's grab our gearbox over here. Alright, so this is only a 4-speed, but I believe it's what we have at the moment, and that's what we're going to use. Alright, and over here we've got 3 bolts on the transmission as well at the back. So that is sorted. And then we'll get the front wheels installed again. So we are going to use the 2 heavy-duty front hubs we have that came with the donut truck. So we'll get these installed on both sides. And then I think we just need to organize the heavy-duty hubs for the back, as well as 4 other wheels like this and tires. So that is something we can probably order while this thing is at paint, so it will run with the single wheels at the back, because we're not going to put on any load. So yeah, that is basically my plan over here. Alright, let's see if this can pop off. Alright, and these pads, they don't look too bad, but yeah, we've got a set, so we might as well replace them. Alright, so let's pop these out. Alright, and this one as well. Okay, so they don't look too bad, but we've got new ones that's going in. So let's pop these in, and we'll go and bolt it down. And I think that is basically the last bit of work for the front suspension now. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's everything. Alright, so let's grab our heavy duty hub. We'll bolt it down over there. Just like that. And then let's get our wheel installed as well. And there we go. So that is our wheels at the front, replaced with the heavy duty ones. So obviously I took the old ones off and just slapped them onto our donut truck over there. So yeah, that truck is probably going to go into storage for now until we get something to do with it. So yeah, that is looking very good. So I think the only things we really need to still do in the engine bay is basically the cable. So we've got this cable as well as the fuel line, which we can install once the engine goes in. We need to go down with this. So let's go down all the way. Yeah, that seems to sit okay. So doesn't look like there's any issues. And then we'll get the cables installed. And I know the taillights aren't going to be visible in the truck. So we will basically just install them anyway in case ever this truck is going to be converted back to a flatbed. Because you can't obviously see them with the ramp installed. Unless if there was going to be some modification made to the ramp itself. But yeah, sadly, that is not something that we are able to do yet. So let's come over here. We are going to just zip these taillights down. And they also have got brand new bulbs installed as well. Alright, so last but not least, we can basically install our battery and our lower radiator hose over here. So let's get that sorted out. First of all, this hose is looking quite bad, so we'll just leave it over on the table here. Alright, and then we'll grab our brand new one. And there it is. Alright, so perfect. Now I want to grab our battery. And we'll get our battery into place. Just bolt it down. And then I think that's as far as we can go with regards to installing things on the truck without the engine. So that is basically the next thing I'm going to start tackling now. So I believe we should have all the parts at our disposal for getting this thing up and running. So I did order a couple of things. So we ordered some new spark plugs. We've got a brand new exhaust manifold, which we were missing. And we also got a brand new oil pan, because obviously I didn't have any oil pans laying around anymore. So we are going to start by replacing the oil pan. But before we do that, we're going to inspect as well if there's any problems internally with this engine, which I'm sure we would probably find something wrong under here. So let's have a little bit of a look over here. Alright, and straight off the bat I can tell we do indeed have a bad crankshaft. But that's not to worry, because luckily I do have this engine which has got a good crankshaft in, which will fit this engine perfectly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of these pistons. I'm going to remove all of them, obviously, because yeah, we need to replace the crankshaft anyway. So we're going to see all of the pistons we take out of the engine we are salvaging the crankshaft from, and these pistons as well as the ones that are in that engine there. We can also check if we don't find decent ones for every cylinder. So yeah, let's just get to stripping these out first. Obviously some of them are going to be worn, like this one. Alright, let's continue checking this one. It's not too bad, but we'll see if we can find something better. I believe we should have better pistons in that block. Alright, so there we go. We are nearly halfway there. And let's grab this one. Yeah, we can just throw that on the ground. I'm not going to reuse that. And then this one. Yeah, this is one of the better ones. We do have another brand new piston also that came in the back of the bed of the truck. So we'll definitely reuse that. Alright, and let's see. That's also not too bad of a piston. And then we've got the last one over here. Let me see if I can yank it out. Alright, that's not too bad either. That's also a good candidate to go back into this engine. Alright, now before we continue, I need to strip off probably this radiator fan for now. Or the ventilator as they call it. We're going to be able to pop it off. There we go. Okay. Alright, and our alternator belt needs to come off. And then I think I'm just going to pull this harmonic balancer off. And now we should be able to remove this timing chain cover with the water pump and everything on that. That'll come off as a unit, just like that. Okay, so that decided to pop off unexpectedly. Alright, so we're gonna take off our timing chain over here. Alright, so there we go. We've got our pry tool now. So let's pry this camshaft sprocket off. This one has seen better days actually, so it's a good thing we are stripping it off. So let's grab our wrench. So we're going to take off this clutch pressure plate and see what is dwelling underneath this. Hopefully nothing bad. Alright, so there's our pressure plate. Yeah, it's definitely worn a bit, but it should still work. Oh, clutch plate looks very good. So that was probably replaced. And then we are going to take off the flywheel, obviously. Alright, so our flywheel is also a little bit worn, but it should still last quite a while. But as far as I'm concerned, if we can at least replace this crankshaft with a better one, this engine should be reliable for quite some time now, from now on. Alright, so there's our crusty old crankshaft. And as you can tell, we don't have a good crankshaft in this motor, so that is definitely going to be our donor over here. So I sort of put this engine together just because I had all of the parts. And I believe also we've got a better camshaft sprocket. Where did I put the pry tool? Already back in the toolbox. Okay. So let's pry this off first of all. Alright, so yeah, I think we could probably reuse this one rather than the old one we took off. And I believe we can also just yank this crankshaft out with all these pistons installed. Alright, and there we go. We've got basically a assembly of crankshaft with pistons and everything, but we're going to take off this pressure plate as well because we want to try and install the best parts onto this engine for Lacko. So we're going to take off even our flywheel over here, just see if it's in a better condition than one we have currently on this car, which it does look better, as well as the pressure plate, but the clutch plate is not so good. But yeah, we've got a good clutch plate over there, so we can basically put all the best parts together. Timing chain also looks quite good. Alright, let me take off these pistons quickly. So we do have got, yeah, fairly good pistons on here by the looks of it. So let's start with this one side. Yeah, it's just easier to take these pistons out if the crankshaft is removed. Alright, then we'll go through everything, because obviously this crankshaft is going into our car, or into our engine for the car. Alright, so let's unbolt this, all of these, and the last one. Alright, so there it is. So now we're going to slide this crankshaft in here and just bolt it down. Alright, so let's start inspecting these pistons. Alright, so I'm going to quickly go through all of these and just see which ones are the best ones. And we are going to choose all the best ones and put them into the engine. Alright, so there we go. I've got the best pistons basically laid out over here. So these are the ones we're going to use. And I also checked our timing chain that we had in this engine was a little bit better than the one that came out of Lacko's engine. So let's grab the flywheel first of all. I'm going to put this back into place and then we'll use the best parts we've got. So we'll reuse this clutch plate. So let's slap that onto there and then we'll grab this pressure plate. And let's put that on there and bolt it down. We're going to spin the engine around a bit. Just like that. And the last two bolts over here, that is it. Right, so now I'm going to start putting these pistons in. So let's start over here. We've got fairly decent pistons for this engine. Alright, so there we go. Right, so there's another one, number 3. And that's number 4. Alright, so the last one, there we go, that is going in there. And that is our engine, basically with the best pistons that we have available, ready to be put back together. Alright, so we'll slap our timing chain on, obviously. Then we'll grab our timing cover assembly over here, get that back into place. Just come over here and bolt it down. Just like that. Alright, and we'll put this harmonic balancer back on. We'll put our fan back on. And then let's grab our alternator belt. And there we go. That is looking better already. So the only thing I really need to still address over here are the cylinder head and the rocker cover. So let's grab our plug wires first of all. So those aren't too bad. Are these ones any better? Not sure. Yes, they are. So we'll replace those. And I can also quickly check our distributor. Let's take off the one from our engine we are building here first of all. Let's see how this one is doing. Yeah, that I think we don't have a better one over here. So let me just double check this quick. Yeah, I think the one that came out of the engine is a little bit better. But we are going to grab this cylinder head over here, so which requires me to remove this old header that I've got installed here. So this was just temporarily done because I was obviously trying to put the parts together, getting the engine sort of assembled in case we needed to rebuild another one. But fortunately now we just need some of the parts. We don't need to try and come up with a whole other engine, although we do have another engine that's already been built now. Alright, so this cylinder head, is that going to pop off? Just not yet. Right, obviously we need to undo these bolts as well. And there we go. And also we've got a decent head gasket if we do need it. Alright, let's get this rocker cover removed over here. Right, so there's our rocker cover. Still looks fairly decent. And straight off the bat we can tell this cylinder head and the rockers are quite bad. And we've got good rockers installed onto our engine over there. Well, on the cylinder head we are going to be replacing this one with. So we're not going to bother with that. We just need to check the head gasket on this side as well. If it's better than the one we've got over there. So we've got a better head gasket over there as well. So that'll go on. And then we'll grab this cylinder head and install it. And let's get these bolts all tightened down. Perfect. And then we've got 3 on the inside. And then we've got basically these last few down here. Then we'll grab our rocker cover again. And we'll quickly pop off the cylinder head on the other side just to check the head gasket. Because maybe we've got a bad head gasket under there. I'm not too sure. Alright, I think I've got everything. That is bolted down. Alright, let's quickly go and check on the other side over here. Alright, so we've got our valve cover off, which is bad anyway. We need to replace it. And then we'll quickly just check this head gasket. As I said, it's very important to make sure we've got a good head gasket underneath this cylinder head, because we don't know if this one maybe blew. So let's just check it. Alright, and there we go. That's our head gasket. Yeah, I think the one we had on here wasn't too bad, so we'll just replace it again. And then I think now we can just basically finish this engine up, because there's not a lot of parts we still need to do install on this thing. It's just basically spark plugs. And then, yes, I think that is basically it. We'll just get the spark plugs replaced, and then also obviously the plug lead wires. And then our oil pan can go on. Didn't even check the camshaft, but I think that is still fine. We'll see. Let's just first of all see if the engine fires up. If it doesn't fire up, it's probably because it's got a bad camshaft in it. But I'm pretty confident that should be fine, because so far this engine hasn't been that bad on the inside. Alright, so there's our distributor. And we'll just bolt that down. Let's grab our exhaust manifold over here. Alright, so that is for this side. Let's get that bolted down. Alright, and the next part we're going to need is basically this off this engine, I believe. I don't think we've got a better exhaust manifold laying around. There it is. Alright, so let's just check if this one is any better. Alright, and what do we have over here? Alright, so the one that we've got over here is a little bit better, so we'll put this one back on. Just like this. Bolt it down. Alright, and now let's just get this valve cover on as well. Alright, that is perfect. So we've pretty much assembled the whole engine now. So let's quickly get these spark plugs swapped out. I'm not going to even bother having a look at the actual condition of these ones, because they are very inexpensive, and I think it's just going to be better to have brand new ones installed all the way around. So I'm not even going to check them. We're just going to basically throw these on the floor. I might do a little bit of cleanup afterwards, obviously, and just make sure we do have got some good parts we can put on our shelf, like these spark plugs, because now we're going to install brand new ones, which I'm going to have to try and keep separate from the old ones now, which isn't very clever of me, but we'll at least know these are the new ones. So let's pop these in one by one. Alright, so that's all of those. And let's go around the other side and do the other one. Alright, and there we go. Number 3, and also there's the last one on this side. Perfect. Alright, so now I just need to zip them down. Alright, and last but not least, for this engine, it's the plug wires, and then just the air filter, which we've got over here. So let's grab this and see if we can basically get it installed. I think let's just take it apart quickly. Alright, let's pop that out, and then we'll get this installed. Bolt that down. Let's grab our air filter, which is still very good actually, and bolt that down. So there we go. I think we've got a fairly decent engine, and as you can see, we already got brand new exhausts as well. So let's drop this thing in and top up the fluids, and then I believe we're going to see if this thing is going to fire up. So let's get this hood opened up, and let's grab the engine. And we'll drop it in, and let's bolt it all down. Alright, so we've got the transmission bolts over there. Let's get our starter bolted down. Over this side we'll do the transmission. We'll do the ground cable. We'll do this engine mount and the alternator. And that, I believe, is everything. Let's not forget, we actually still need to replace the window winder on the passenger side, which is something I actually forgot about. So we might actually do that once the truck comes back from paint. Let's just quickly do it. I mean, while we are at it. Alright, so this door card is anyway shot, so we're not going to put it back. So let's grab our new window winder over here. Just set it down there for now. Alright, so let's get this old one removed with the glass. Alright, you can see that is clearly broken. And let's get it installed onto our new winder over here. Just bolt that down. Alright, and let's get that installed. Zip it down. And now, last but not least, I think it's just time for the exhausts. So let's get our exhausts installed. Alright, let's go under here. Or should we able... Yeah, we should hopefully be able to do it from the top. So let's just see. Yeah, it's a little bit easier from the top. Alright, and then on this side, let's go over to there and just get that into place. And then we'll bolt it down from here. Perfect. Right, so now let me quickly put some fluids into this thing. And then we are going to try and fire it up. Obviously, I don't want to take that off. Let's get our cap removed here. Alright, so we'll get our fluids topped off. And then I think we're going to see if this thing's going to fire up. I'm pretty sure it should. It doesn't look like we've got any issues in the engine. So yeah, I'll bring you guys back up to speed once this is done. Because this is a little bit challenging, leaning over like this on a big truck like this. So I'll bring you guys back up to speed when this is all done. Alright, so we are done with all the fluids. Everything is topped off. And now we just need to see if we can fire this thing up. I'm pretty sure we shouldn't have any issues. So let me get these ramps out of the way, because I've got faith in this thing that it's going to fire up. No problem. So let's grab these arms out of the way, just like that. And then we are going to see if this thing's going to fire up. So let's keep our fingers crossed we've got some gas. It doesn't look like we've got some gas in the tank. So yeah, very little gas, but it does run. Or maybe the cluster is broken completely. Well, it doesn't sound too bad. I'm pretty sure it will move under its own power, which it does. It's got good brakes. Alright, let's back it up into the ramp over there. And it goes forward. Alright, so and our windows work. That is very good. So now the last thing to do for this episode is to attach the ramp bed. And then we are going to take this thing over to Richard's Autobody for its paint job. So yeah, I think this is also going to be the wrap for the episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also, I wanted to ask, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I would appreciate it very much. But yes, until the next time, cheerio.